Hey guys, what's up? Stephen here, and we're back to another Roblox tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're gonna teach you all about lightings. Lightings as in on light effects. So the light effects is not the lighting of the actual map. So we put 0 on the brightness of the actual map so we can adjust more on the lighting. So let's get onto our first light, which is the point light. So point lights are very simple. It's going directly on the south part or at the bottom part of the game. You can or the part. So you can adjust its brightness, you can adjust the range. So range of lights is mostly how far the light travel. If I put it above here, there's no more light. And if I put it above or a little bit lower, it gets brighter because our bright is something along those highest lights. So if I still put 1, I still get that dim light and the range would still be there. So even if I adjust this to 120, the brightness would still be the same. But the range of how the point light can travel is a sphere that is going down. So it's always going to be a circle. It's not going to be a square. And I can't adjust the angles. So let's say I wanted to adjust the angles of the point light. I don't want it to be simple. Then what we need is not a point light, but what we need is a spotlight. So spotlights are something more of a diverse. Oh, by the way, another thing on point light is however much I rotate this, it's not gonna change how the point light would work. So it's really gonna be stuck on that part, pointing down. So that's how point light works. You can't adjust it. So uh, let's put on our spotlight. So for our spotlight, spotlight is a little bit more diverse wherein I can put it on the bottom and this actually affects oops this also affects maybe if you go there here this also affects how your how your part is rotated. So notice that I have this part. Let's try to get that with the actual bottom part. So let's rotate that and now it's on the bottom just so we can give you the actual face. So a spotlight is somewhere you can adjust where the light is being shown. Let's put it on 10 brightness. The brightness is the same as point light and the range is the same as a point light. But the difference of spotlight is I can adjust where it's looking at. So let's say I wanted the angle of just something like that and maybe a little bit longer. And oops, the range would be just let's say 30. Then let's say I put in a color of red. So then I can have this as a turning point of this part is something that is dangerous, something along those lines. But I wanted to have a certain front. Let's say it's working on the front and you notice that it's kind of a laser but it's showing it on there. And if I want to rotate this, let's say I want to rotate that part, you see that everything is rotating, even the spotlight is rotating. So that's how we can do on the spotlight. I can even change everything on the angle if I just put on front facing. And I can even duplicate this. Let's say the other one is looking at the back. And if I try to rotate the part, we get that two-prong lights effect wherein even if something is like that, and if I try to rotate it, I would have that kind of effect. So similarly to something of a disco, something along those lines. But if you don't want it to work like that, let's say you want it to have a little bit more range, let's say a little bit more range, something along those lines, and then angle would be wider, and then you want it to have like floor is lava, and every time you have like something, or even if something of a robot wherein it's trying to see intruders, you can even have this kind of effects. So that's how the spotlight can work, and it's more useful on, in some ways it's useful on spotlights, or rather the point light, but the point light is pretty straightforward. You can just use it as a lighting source on certain models, and you don't need to adjust much further. You just need to adjust the brightness and the range. So that's how point lights work. And spotlights work as something you can modify. So keep that in mind. So point light, simple light effects. Spotlight, something diverse that you can use on some codes too. So don't get me wrong, you can still use point light on certain games, but if you want something much more easier to code, or and much more diverse, use the spotlight. And before we discuss our surface light, please like and comment down below if you're learning something today. So let's now move towards to our surface light. So what is the difference of surface light, spotlight, and the point light? So surface lights are something more of, it has its angle, like if you notice, hold on, spotlight is more on a circular, but surface light is actually surface light, wherein it's not supposed to be there. It gets the surface of your part. So let's see, let's make this brighter. So let's make this brighter, and then and let's just keep the angle as is. So if you notice, we kind of have the same effect of the point light we did earlier, but the difference comes here. So surface light is something that you can use on a part, and it's gonna light up all those part area where you put it. So on the back, and even if on the front, but it's not the front, maybe the left. Notice it got so much little compared to the surface area of the front and back. Now notice that, let's let's put some point light spotlight here. Spotlights, even if I put it something like that, it's just gonna go on the mirror. This is the same as a point light. However much surface you put on your part, it's just gonna stay in the middle of that part, and where the centerpiece of that part is. It's always gonna be in the middle. So point light and spotlights are more on the real models, but if you want something brighter or something unique wherein you put, um, let's say you put in some GIF there and you want that to be seen, or let's say a leaderboard, then just use it something like, oops, and then as soon as you put some GIF there, it's gonna light up because there's a surface light. And of course, if you add reflectancy on that part. So a reminder or a summary, point lights are staying in the middle, and it has simple effect, brightness and range. Spotlights still stay in the middle, but it has its own angle and where you can set the face. You can still change the brightness and you can still change the range, but it would stay in the middle. And surface light is a part is a light where it would capture all the surface area of the part. It still has the angle, the brightness, the range, and the face, but it captures the whole area, the whole surface of the part in where it's facing on. So again, point light, spotlight stays in the same. Point light is simple. Spotlight has angles. Surface light has it all, uh, includes all the surface. So if everyone has its own use case, point light is much easier to put if you're just putting it on light. Spotlight is much more diverse than point light, but not enough surface area if you have a wider range of light. So use surface light if maybe on outdoors or something like that. So I hope you learned something in this video and catch you on another video. Bye bye.